Hi. This is number 3.
Video number 3. Yeah.
Video number 3. And guess what? Conversations. Conversations with my son, conversations with my mother. So, as we told you, now we're having conversations in front of the camera. Quite interesting. So, we like to touch upon the next chapter, which became waiting. Waiting, of course, is this easy topic because I was waiting for a topic. I was waiting to see what I was going to write about. So, this is sort of the way my whole choosing of topics went. I just waited till something very obviously popped up in my head, And so as I was waiting, I said, why don't I write about waiting? So that's what it became. And then at the same time, then all of a sudden I remembered a scenario of waiting in those kind of circumstances and then other circumstances. And so it starts to take on a life of its own. But waiting can be looked at many different angles. And that is exactly why we choose to talk about these things. What do you think about waiting, Quinn?
What do I think about waiting? Well,
yeah. What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? Well, if you were waiting for one of my poems, that would be the first chapter that you would find one of them. Chapter 2, so you don't have to wait too long. But we talked about in our first video how my poems tend to rhyme. Actually, they always rhyme. And so when I would receive her chapter, because usually she wrote first, not always, sometimes I would write first, then she would respond. I would then always wait until it felt the right time to respond. And so she wrote about waiting, and I was waiting to see what came to me in my response to her chapter about waiting. And so for me, it came in a poem form. I never knew really how it was going to come. It seemed to kind of be almost automatic sometimes. I'd say about a third of my chapters ended up being poetry form, more or less.
Really?
A third, maybe a fourth.
Yeah, he also would write about it a little bit and then write a poem at the end. I did the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. I had poems at the end, but a lot of my chapters were just simply poems.
Yeah.
That's it. I'd say
it's true.
Maybe 4 or 5. I should know the details better since I wrote it, but anyway, somewhere around there. But
yeah, because that actually is true. When I first thought about inviting you to write, because I was always blown away, as I told you, about his poems. And I thought I will write a topic and have him write a poem about it. But then lo and behold, he started to write, and I think you've always written. I really didn't know that. He's kept that hidden to a certain degree, right?
Yeah, I would just write when I felt inspired. I did not for anybody. I just sometimes would just write down my thoughts when I had a deep experience or a deep realization or a life-changing event or something. I would just write about it just for myself. And I never really shared it. And then she invited me to write, and she thought it would be better if I wrote every chapter in a poetry form because that's how she knows my writing from doing Christmas cards and birthday cards and things like that. I would write these long poems, but I thought that would be really hard to do every single chapter that way. So I just started to see whatever would come. If it came in poetry form, I would write a poem. If it came in a story form, I would write a story. It worked out really beautifully.
Yeah, I think so too. Because
both sides were really amazing.
Yeah, both sides were really amazing. It became, because the thing is, it became supernatural.
Yeah, it just came
natural. That is both of us have said from the very beginning, even though we had no idea this was going to turn into a book. We both thought we have to remain completely honest and completely true to ourselves
and vulnerable.
Very vulnerable and natural. Vulnerable. That is what I like so much, because we had one person who has had the book not yet in form, but she has read the manuscript. And this is a person who does not know either Quentin nor myself. And do you have it?
Yeah, I will go ahead and read. So she wrote one of our reviews. Her name is Kelly. On our website, she wrote one of the reviews. She's the second person to read the book, and the review was very touching. And we thank you, Kelly, for giving us this review. It really motivates us to keep going and to feel good about that the book came through in the way that we wanted it to, in a vulnerable way, an honest way, making you feel connected. We're not trying to be holier than thou or anything like that. We're just simply trying to
We're human
express
beings.
ourselves as human beings and the insights and the depths that we have explored from our points of view, and sharing that with you and hoping to uplift people through our shared experience.
Yeah,
so
read it.
Here is her review. It was an honor to read the Caruth's vulnerable and insightful dialogue. It's inspiring to see a mother-son duo that is so deeply connected emotionally and spiritually among all other aspects of life. While reading this book, I felt peace. I felt loved, understood, and valued, and I continued to embody those emotions long after I finished reading. And then she also personally told me more stuff that was really just flattering and kind, and she really seemed to love the book tremendously. And
Isn't that lovely?
yeah.
I love that you used the word vulnerable, because that is the way we open ourselves up. Not to have a set idea of, we want to teach something, because I don't want to teach anything. I just want to be myself, and that is what I wanted.
Yeah,
the whole thing. I
we want to
be
just
myself.
connect with everybody.
Yeah.
We just want to feel a connection with humanity and show that we're all in this boat together. We're all sharing this journey of life, and we're all like.
And connect. You know what I like about the thing that we say on the website, connect consciously, because it's to me that means not just connect consciously with each other or with our other human beings. What do we call them?
All of humanity.
All of humanity, but it is very much connect consciously with oneself. So it really applies to all of that. Actually, we're really getting completely off the topic of waiting.
We are getting off.
Yeah. That's
the case.
Yeah. But I do want to say something about waiting, because I once saw a documentary, or I'm really not sure why I remember this specific person. The documentary, I believe it was a man in Argentina. It was so interesting because the man said he loved waiting. He got such a kick out of waiting, and then he went into explanation why. He explained that he waited so long to ask his girlfriend to marry him, because he was so looking forward to that, so he just postponed it. So for him, waiting was always reaching for this. It would make it, what would come, richer. And he also explained about the food, because I believe in Argentina they prepare the meat for a very long time. And that is what he said. To prepare a meal was for him delicious. The longer it took, the greater it was. He was so in love with waiting. He said, when I see a line of people anywhere, I go stand in the line. I find it quite exaggerated. I'm not quite like that, especially not waiting in front of a red light, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh my God! So I can't wait. Don't change. Can't wait to put my foot on that accelerate. Let's wait a little longer. No, I'm not like that. But I have to say, I remember a poem I wrote many, many, many years ago, and the one line that came out is how I put it. I have never forgotten. And that kind of sums it up, because the line says, in joyful waiting, time gets lost. And I think that is so true.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. And I find it also interesting to look at it, that waiting can be seen as, if you only look at it as, oh my God, I can't wait to get whatever it is you're waiting for, or oh my God, I'm so bored with waiting. I think it can be seen not so seriously looking for the result that you're looking for, and then the waiting is just a process. And here again, it can be a joyful process, and in that one does not get completely identified with what's there, but one remains grounded as well. And I think that is a very important aspect, to have those two, to be grounded in, yes, I'm waiting and I'm okay with waiting, and it's a joyful process, because I will reach that somehow, someday. So not be tunnel visioned at that, and then you get completely lost, and not be
you lose life.
Yeah, you lose everything.
Yeah.
So I find out that waiting is, in that sense, a beautiful challenge to balance,
to be present even in the waiting.
Yeah,
not just present in the future of the thing you're waiting for, but present in the process of it.
Yes, exactly.
To enjoy it and to fully imbibe it.
Yes, right. Be with it, and respect what's coming, but respect the time as well, and then we become timeless.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is the truth of who we are. We are
Which
timeless
is the
beings. Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so, speaking of waiting, I've been waiting for these moments to share with you and to share with my mother.
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of what my poem was about, was waiting for this day in a way. Like I enjoyed my life. It was amazing, but I always felt like there was something waiting that I was waiting for. And I'm just so enjoying the writing process and the process with my mom, and hoping to meet with people and to just to make people feel more loved or more accepted or more happy. I hope that's what this becomes, and I feel like that's what I've been waiting for. It feels very fulfilling, and
Yes.
So anyway, I hope you will connect with us. You can find us on caruthconversations.com. You can subscribe here on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. All those links will be in the video below. We thank you for joining us. We hope to continue this conversation and to always connect consciously with ourselves and with you. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No. See you next time.
Okay. Bye. Actually, the last video, you looked over at me. I didn't notice when I went to turn it off at the very end, and you were laughing like crazy because you were like so excited, like a little child. And Caroline's like, you should leave that in. It's so endearing. It's so cute. Like, I don't think she would want that in there.
Oh no, I don't care, because people say you got to show as much as you can of yourselves.
Yeah, it was really adorable and cute. It would have been nice to leave it in, but
yeah. But we're still trying to be too professional. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. This isn't. This is getting horrible. Okay.